Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's your sister Naima B. Robert here, back again with another video on how to write for children. Alhamdulillah, we've been helping sisters to write for children since 2018 now, mashallah. And along the way, we have come across some mistakes that sisters make again and again and again when they are writing for children. And I've shared a couple of these before, and I would like to share one today. And that is unnecessary detail. Unnecessary detail. Many of us, when we're writing, even though we're writing picture books, we want to describe everything, right? And I see this happening with picture books and with chapter books. We are compelled to describe what kind of a day it was, what people were having for breakfast, the salam that people gave when they came home from school. Many authors get stuck in with describing the characters in great detail: hair color, eye color, what they were wearing, what they ate in their lunchbox, etc. So much detail. And I would like to tell you that looking at the picture books specifically, then we're going to talk about chapter books. With picture books, one of the reasons they are actually more challenging than you would expect is because every word matters. You only have 1,000 words, so you have to be very careful with which words you use and how. Remember that with a picture book, the illustrations will help you to put the story in context. So you don't have to describe the day unless it's significant to the story. You don't have to say it was a windy day or a sunny day unless that is significant to the story. You do not have to describe what the character is wearing unless it's significant to the story, because guess what? When the book is actually done, if there was a reason why she was wearing a red coat, you can always have the illustrator make sure that they illustrate it where the character is wearing a red coat. But again, only significant details should be included in your text, in the actual text. Superfluous dialogue, there's no need for it. Every time a character comes in, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, how are you doing? Alhamdulillah. I've seen authors use up precious words on relaying dialogue that does not move the story forward, that does not teach us more about the characters, and ultimately needs to be cut. So, if you're writing a picture book, please, if you've written one, read through it and make sure that every word that you've used is necessary, that it makes the sentence more readable, that it makes the sentence richer and not the other way around, that it doesn't make it less readable and sort of overburden the sentences, that it takes us forward in the story in a way that makes sense, that is logical, that doesn't hold us up somewhere in the story where we don't need to be held up. Be economical with your words. It doesn't mean that the picture book text cannot be elegant and beautiful and flow with imagery. It doesn't mean that. But it means that you should be very selective about what words you use and what expressions you decide to employ. Otherwise, your picture book text will be clunky, it will feel like it's been overwritten, and you will waste precious words talking about things that have no bearing on the story itself. Focus your attention on the details that matter. Where you need to draw your reader's attention to something, that's when you go into detail. When there is a significant conversation, that's when you tell us exactly what was said. And all of this applies to chapter books and novels as well. Again, very, very common mistake, rookie mistake really, is to go into a lot of detail about the way that characters look. She had blue eyes, or she was wearing a hijab that matched her bag and matched her shoes. The only reason that you would want to go into that kind of detail is if this tells us something significant about the character. In the case of the girl who has a hijab that matches her bag and matches her shoe, if this character is particularly meticulous or very fashion oriented, and that is a significant part of her character, which is going to come up and be important later, by all means, let the reader know that that's what she's like. And by contrast, if she's not, that type of person, if she's very sloppy, if she doesn't care about her appearance, if she's a lot more laid back, then you may want to talk about how her hijab was flung carelessly around her head. There you're telling us something significant about the character. But as for describing every character in detail, every room that they go into, telling us what's in the room, every road that they go down, telling us exactly what's on the road, I would advise you to be aware of this, be careful of this, and know that sometimes that can be a bit of a comfort zone where maybe you enjoy describing things, and so you end up just doing a lot of describing and not enough moving the plot forward, not enough developing the characters, not enough really rich dialogue, and basically just clogging up your manuscript. And trust me, if you do ever send it to an editor, the editor's going to have something to say about that. Editor's going to be putting lines through, and if you send it to a publisher, even worse. So don't make that rookie mistake. Don't go overboard with description and dialogue that is not necessary, that does not move the story forward, that does not actually add to the quality of your text. So I hope that has been helpful. Maybe it'll give you something to think about as you're writing, or even when you go back in for your editing period. But it's certainly something that we've had to say time and time again to our clients and our students. So I'm giving this to you, and I hope that it's useful to you, inshallah. And if you would like to work with my team and I, and if you'd like us to look over your manuscript and give you this feedback, this kind of feedback, simply go to my website, naimarobert.com/services. Send us information about your book. We would love to help you become one of the 222 Muslimah authors that we support this year, inshallah. Until the next video, take care, and remember, be economical. Be economical with your words. Trust me, it's way, way better in the end, inshallah.